Rolling.
My father, Pano, was born in 1898, and unfortunately he died in 1955. He was only 57 years old, and the date was December 19th. Louis was 4 years old at the time. My mother had the Christmas tree in the den. All the presents were under. It was the week before Christmas, don't forget. It was a happy time. My father always wanted my sister and I to go there on Sunday for dinner. He loved to see the kids too. And we went every Sunday. We would go with our husbands, and Kay had Debbie and I had 2 kids. And this one Sunday we didn't go. We said, oh, gee. By this time we lived in Dorchester then. Mm-hmm. And we had a car. We had a car by that time. And it was early evening, and the phone rang, and it was my mother's neighbor, Jimmy Richardson, next door. And he said, you know, you didn't come today, and Pop, they called him Pop. Pop didn't feel good. Can you come by? And I said, sure. And so I told my father-in-law, and I says, Mom wants us to come over. Pop doesn't feel good. My father-in-law said, you go out. He stayed with the kids, of course. And we went, and when we got to Cambridge, Jimmy Richardson was outside. And he's the one, he said, Pop passed away. Well, you can imagine, you know, all the turmoil. It was, he had a cerebral hemorrhage. And like I said, Louis was only 4 years old. So we got through all that funeral, everything else. It was a bad time. Now my mother's left with the store, the house, a 4-year-old. What do you do? And she said to my brother Keatsy, how about you now running the store? Mm-hmm. He didn't want any part of it. He said, no, I'm getting married, he said. You're getting married? I don't want any part of the store, Ma. Of course, we had kids, we couldn't do it. And Buster was younger. And so in January 27th, my father hadn't even made 40 days yet. My brother decided to get married to Janet, Auntie Janet. They got married in her house. My sisters and I went all dressed in black. Just for the ceremony, that was it. I think they had a little time in the house, whatever. Then after that, after a while, you know, my mother sold the house in the store and bought the house in Dorchester there. And started working as a cook in a nursing home. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That was that.
Now, so what about Auntie Linda and my dad growing up? What were they like growing up as little kids?
They were such good kids. Linda had all our neighborhood was full of kids. Mm-hmm. They were all boys and girls around the same ages. They all went to the same school, and most of them were Catholic. Mm-hmm. They all went to St. Mark's Church. And this is who Linda hung out with, although we went to St. John's, Albanian Orthodox Church. Mm-hmm. But if there was a CYO or anything that had to do with the Catholic Church, she went with her friends. We let her go with her friends. Mm-hmm. What else were you going to do? I mean, you can't keep one kid home just because she's Orthodox.